So, what's good, YouTube family? This your guy, DJ Bless One. But let's talk about Coach JB. Now, Coach JB, I already finished him. No diddy. I already showed the likeness of who he is, guys like him. So on this video, I don't have to be extra amped up. I don't have to purposely defeat a body that's already in the casket. This right here, we're going to finally put the casket in the dirt. We don't need receipts. We're going to have a conversation with JB, coach, a supposed coach. I want to get in on his little counterpart, Smitty. I'm going to just stick to Coach JB. Now, Coach JB, you, Smitty, and Mac McKenzie of 0260, who's look like he's cosplaying right now, look a little suspect, but your little two dwarf elves, it's not even Christmas, and you got them to work already on Colorado football, on Deion Sanders. So let's stick to the show. You feel me, my boy? What's embarrassing emphatically about guys like you guys and who looks like you, it's the fact that you keep moving the goalposts, sort of like a Jason Whitlock and many other people who we will be calling out. But it bothers me how you gave him a little bit credit 4 weeks ago, and I knew it was fake. I didn't even pay attention to it. I knew where it was coming from. I knew who it was with. It's coming from you, sir. There is no truth in you. But what's appalling is how every day you seem to find a new way to come at Coach Prime. You seem to find a new way to have a new magic moment where you can then deem him as other than becoming of. Am I lying? When it comes to Coach JB, Deion Sanders doing good and you giving him credit doesn't benefit you or your counterparts. So it behooves you to understand guys like me are going to watch your shady tactics, because you know if you call out Deion Sanders, it rises you above the others as far as this fake new journalistic thing on YouTube. You guys don't really do your credentials you don't have real credentials. You don't actually go in the backgrounds and research things. You look for hit pieces to diagnose what's going on in Boulder. You don't give Deion Sanders a fair shake. Not that I'm crying about it. I'm not a professional victim. I'm just saying, how can I take your show serious if you have a vindictive vendetta against Coach Prime? And let me explain it to you all why Coach JB has this vendetta. See, Coach JB has been coaching for almost 30 years or more. He has never been given proper recognition by any of his peers. The closest to fame that Coach JB has ever had was Netflix giving you this condescending weak show. I'm not going to call it weak all the way, but I was not an avid watcher of Quarterback U or Quarterback One, whatever they call that crap on Netflix. I looked at you, how you talk to players. I don't care if coaches scream at players or whatever. You can bring a player down. But just like the military and like the drill sergeants do, you got to bring them back up. See, you bring the players down so you can mold them and shape them to a better version of themselves and who they were. You never learned how to properly deal with certain players, especially the melanated ones. So because you're from the South, or if you really are from the South, you use this Southern accent. I don't know if it's fake or not, but in your mindset, if you speak a certain way with an accent and your vernacular comes across as something that can connect with these players, but it hurt your feelings when you found out you were a gimmick. You've always been a gimmick. No real contender respects a Coach JB. So now you see you couldn't cut it in the coaching department. You didn't quit. You were forced out of the coaching department for the theatrics that you choose to do. I don't care if you were found later guilty or not. I showed proof and debunked it. It was just a situation that was settled, but no parties ever found you innocent of this. You weren't found guilty, but you weren't found innocent either because of circumstances. You know what you did. You know about the criminal allegations against you. You know what happened. You know what you did to that German player. Only you can look in the mirror and understand everybody doesn't make the same lie about one person. Unless if it's Deion Sanders. You heard me? Unless if it's Deion Sanders. Because I used to believe all the crap they said about Whitney Houston, some of them got to be real. It can't just be allegations. But when you fall back and see how many made up things are being thrown on Deion Sanders, you're going, maybe there's validity. But then you listen to the argument and it's like, oh man, this dude is really a jealous, envy dude. I see the jealousy and hate in your eyes. I see a jealousy that's far concerning. It's just more something of the way the things have always been with the Go Get Along. Coach JB, it hurts you that this man, Deion Sanders, is only in his second year of coaching. He got thrust into the war of things in the Power 4, Power 5, and Power 6. He's been doing absolutely well. Absolutely well. In his second year, if Deion Sanders was a different shade, there would be movies. I don't even need to talk about the movie department. We know Disney would have already have one, even when he went to JSU. But if it wasn't for his shade, you would be seeing many people giving him overrated props like you give these other overrated coaches. Ryan Day has been overrated for how long now? Lincoln Riley, I'm not going to call him overrated, but for the last 3 years, overrated. Cool. You had Heisman-worthy quarterbacks, but you never developed them up to be Heisman-worthy quarterbacks. They came to you already developed. You had a program intact, so therefore you had another one. But I got to give you props because Caleb Williams went down there to USC. He got another Heisman out of you. So you're a good quarterback guru. So is it fair to say Lincoln Riley, it's only because JB loves Lincoln Riley. So I'm going to do Coach JB job and call out Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley is an overrated offensive coordinator / quarterback guru. As a head coach, trash. But you guys don't want to hear that. You're telling me Deion Sanders is not a real coach. It's the coaches around him that's coaching and doing this maximum effort. Then you look at Sean Lewis. How's that working out for Sean Lewis, the Benedict Arnold agent at San Diego State? I just want to hear from the rest of you guys. How has that been working for Sean Lewis and his counterparts? I haven't seen anything redundant of something to be praised. So there can I say his players who have left him, such as a Dylan Edwards, who's a glorified do boy at Kansas State. You know Kansas State that got 7 running backs, including a freshman running back by the name of Joe Jackson from Florida, Haines City, Florida, that is, who's been given more props than Dylan Edwards by the head coach, Chris Kyman, even though Dylan Edwards averages more yards and he seems to produce when he gets in. So what I'm trying to say is the grass is not greener on the other side because what made the grass greener was Deion Sanders. It's not that the grass is not green on the other side because everything is a failure on the other side and only Deion was the best, but Deion had that little flavor you can sprinkle on that compound grass over there that hasn't been grown in 3 years, or in Colorado case, hasn't been growing in 20 years. He sprinkles a little bit turf magic and presto, amazing season is here. What did Dan Lanning of Oregon call our amazing season? He called it Cinderella. Well, I fall back and a lot of y'all think Dan Lanning is going undefeated. I'm not out here to make fun of him. I'm just going to show you, watch the crash happen. And you remember I said that. Since everybody been waiting for a crash from Colorado for 2 years now, right? The crash hasn't happened yet, but every day I get to be told Deion Sanders is trash by guys like Coach JB. Coach JB, when Deion Sanders wins more games, does good again. Hell, he did so great, he can lose this game coming up Saturday, but I don't want him to lose, but you get my drift. Is it fair to say you're the maximum turd of all turds? Right. See, I'm DJ Bless One, the best one, man. Love your family, love your kids, and stay blessed. Always remember, this will always be bigger than football, deeper than football to these people.